Oh my god! He's wearing a hood. A hoodie. Supposedly from Nepal. This look would be complete if I would be wearing my hat now. And this, you can't really see it. These pants. And this. And probably with that hat. It was how I walked into the supermarket when that one woman said, "Whoa, what a beautiful man." And two young men laughed at me. I wouldn't call them men, they're boys. So, to have the courage, of course, to be a bit different and to live it and to show, it's okay to be different. Yeah, I can't help it. I don't want to stand. And maybe it's just to give you the sound of the whinge, or is it the hinge, that operates my desk, which I can turn from a standing into a sitting desk, of course. I mean, why of course, but... So, sometimes we tend to forget that we are not just this one person, but actually a collection. And, you can basically scratch that. You're basically, what is a person? So according to the state and the law, a person is the thing that can be sued, right? Because it's not an animal, right? It has an identification card. So you can be sued for being born in a certain area. And therefore, I think it's much easier to start seeing yourself as an individual or a human being. Because a person can be prosecuted by law. And I believe a human being cannot. So then you can say, sue me. But yeah, you can. Because I'm kind of free, right? And if you try to impose, that's the term. If you are trying to impose your laws upon me, a free human being, then you are impairing my dignity as a human being, because I, make use of the right to be free at any given moment, and you cannot force me to do things simply because you want to, or simply because I was born in a given area. So now take, for example, this kind of ideology or something. Like, you are born in that area and then they say you're a German. But nobody ever asked you if you wanted to be that. It was just stated that you are to be German because, or you ought to be German because you were born in the area where other people that say they're German, or that have accepted the fact that, they are called Germans, live. And then you were born and nobody asked you because you can't talk, how convenient. And then, you are a property of, the state Germany. And because you are so, you have to have certain things and you have to do certain things. You have to have health insurance. But what if I don't want to have health insurance? But what if I want to still drive a car without having health insurance? Because I trust that I don't need health insurance to drive a car. And if something happens, then, that's just the case. But I cannot fund a system that's a bloody lie. So at least a car somehow... Yeah, I don't know, do I really need a car? That's then the question, of course. So in any case, as will become more apparent to you once you've seen what we are going to work with today. Oh my god, he said we! Does that mean I'm included? Somehow, because you're watching this, of course. So somehow, yeah, I've been working a bit with my. Oh yeah, nice. Didn't expect that. You have to. You can't really see why I got so excited just now. The reason. Sorry, I didn't have breakfast yet. That's disgusting. And so are you. Yeah, today I want to do, I think, an outside session again. Because yesterday I spent the whole day inside and shit, man, I've just sometimes you feel fucking miserable. I mean, I feel that. Yes! Because I thought I had a different picture now. I forgot that see, sometimes it's just you're developing kind of money. And then tell me one person that nature isn't beautiful. Like, look at this. This is scales. Do you get that? I mean, a tree basically have scales like animals. And they move. I mean, how can you not say that's beautiful? And it's like a beard. I mean, talking about magic, but that's just magical to me. You know what I want to try in this one? And also look at this. Now the foreground, the sun is shining on it, and here it's not. But still, it creates this kind of foreground-background effect. So, to me, to take this picture, I basically just walked up to the tree, aimed, and shot. I didn't even look at the picture that I took. And now look at this one. You know, I walk around, I see a shape that I like, and then I position the camera. I mean, of course, I do look through the viewfinder, but of course now you can fiddle around with these things, and you see what I call this then. I mean, not what I call this, but what do I call it? Like, what is this? This is the original picture. And this is then how it looks in the end. And what does this do? Nothing. So, is this an improvement? Who knows? But if you like it, you see, if you can see the beauty in it, like with this one, I know if I will do some adjustments, I will like it a bit better. You see, it's already different. And then you do black and white, it's also different, of course. Now you could say, okay, contrast, maybe add a bit of exposure, but not too much. Maybe take a bit of exposure out. I mean, you can make this look like a jungle, because that's basically what it is, a miniature. I mean, it does look quite beautiful, doesn't it? Anyway, that's not today's picture. But also this one. You just aim and you shoot. And then you see, what can I make with this? But it does have its own kind of beauty. And it's just for somebody to come along and see it, or you could even say, collect it. And of course, now you can talk about, you know, is it really sharp and stuff like this. You know, I'm not going to use these pictures as they are. So to me, I love black and white. But this one, I want to keep the way it is. Because this video is about transmutation or transformation. I don't know what the difference is, by the way. So you can even play with the saturation. You can take it out, a bit more. And also, of course, one thing that has to be clear right now, and now the sharpen effect just adds a bit of more detail. Of course, the important thing is now, I'm not trying to, because this picture is not going out like this. This picture is just the background. So, of course, I'm applying different things to it, because it's a different kind of picture. Yeah, I have my stuff on Dropbox, but I encrypted with NCFS. It's called ENCFS. No. Wait, is it here? No. Ah, yeah. Oh, man. So, like, I can literally go back to these pictures, and every time I see it, I get this orgasmic feeling. I'm not kidding if I say that, because especially these pictures where I transform my sexuality. But what I want to show you is this picture. You can get off on that one. Like, just look. It didn't look like this beforehand, of course. And I don't keep most of my black and white photography. I shot it, and I feel in a way sorry for that. I have to admit that. A part of me, I feel sick that I deleted it. And that's the thing about letting go. So, it's just like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, look at this. It's just the kind of detail. And that's why I like photography. Like, these shoes are way too big. And then here, this is because it was raining. And I was in a car park. And I just saw it. I went for a walk. And I saw it, and I thought, one evening I'm going to come back here and shoot some videos. And then this just happened spontaneously. And that's the thing. You start seeing your life as art. You start seeing yourself as a form of art. And you start seeing the things that you do as a form of art. So I myself see myself, yes, as a form of art. And so when I portray like this, I get into the mood, right? I have to fit into the scene. And therefore I have to be like somehow confident. But I also have to say, I want to stand there and want to look completely relaxed. And you have that. I don't know how you do it. How do models do it? Because this is basically modeling. This is what people get paid for. To do modeling jobs, right? And it's the kind of, you're not concerned with the camera, but your entire presence is part of the picture, and you're basically sending out those vibes towards the camera. And that's something that you then call focus. And suddenly you are part of the scene. And it's not a coincidence that this backpack is laying there. I allowed it to lay there because it's this kind of random effect. I put it there anyway. So if I wanted to have a clean look, I would have taken that cup and put it away. I would probably, I don't know, clean some dust here, and then the backpack wouldn't be there also, and probably I wouldn't even wear shoes that are way too big for me because they're my dad's. I would look completely different. And the picture would be completely different. But now it's just natural. You know, it's just the way it is. And that's what I like to do, right? When I write a book, I cannot pretend to be happy in these moments if I'm not. Like right now, I'm happy to record this. But this morning I felt like shit. So I also had to force myself to get out of bed. But now the interesting thing is the reason I got out of bed was because, here, this one I also kept. I like it. It's just me. In a clean room, now it's not so clean anymore, but right now my focus is somewhere else. And this one. So when I made this, you know, I do get aroused. When I make this, you know, I paint it. I was holding my hand onto the paper, and then I traced the lines. And then of course later it's then my job, you know, and then I add some kind of detail, but not like perfect. Then I look, okay, there's a, you know, some kind of vein, so I just shape it. And then this here, for example, these lines, that's because I took it with a flash, the picture. I took it with a flash so I can then later use GIMP, the magic wand tool, and it just traces lines that are there already. And it gives this kind of random effect, like here. I mean, it just happens. I don't have to do that. And then I just wanted that in my tongue somehow. I took a picture. And that picture became later my new logo for my show. Oh, look at this. Just about to touch it. I mean, talking about erotic. I mean, geez, breasts. See, and you know, this feeling, and what I did before was also a bit more kind of playful, right? I was doing more playful things, but also sometimes a bit like scary stuff, but not like, yeah, some of the things were quite bloody. This one I like, here with a syringe, a handful of lies. Take the... I can't say, oh, it's YouTube, wait. You know. Well, it's just an opinion, so I think I don't even have to say it. But yeah, I just loved it, and I didn't know at the time. This is, you know, the spiritual path. I don't know why the vagina stuff came into it. Well, I know it. And rip free spirit. Yeah, smoking is suicide, of course. And then, you know, you walk your path. And then at one point, somebody may join you, and then you're like walking together. And that's kind of what, at least I'm aiming for. And also hear this. I just wanted that the hair is kind of going through it. Anyway, see, and that's then of course the logo that came out of it with the tongue. But that's also why I leave it like this. For example, I also like how my neck is. I don't know, but somehow with training, my neck started to change. Anyway, I've been going through these things already a couple of times. So it's not really the point now. Oh, man. I mean, it's just Scheiße. Sorry, but I see these things, like how my art develops. Like, look at this. It's different. It's completely different than this. It's just a fact. It's completely different, and You know, sometimes I look at the YouTube videos I used to make with this kind of, you know, I called that like multi-layered whatever. So I had multiple layers of sound, multiple layers of video, and then, you know, just like boom. And I liked that. I liked that. And I also like I think it's called The Witch is Dead. I think that's how it's called. Or Come Back into the Light. I also like that one. So, but it, you know, yesterday I was watching one of these videos and I was inside, I got really sad because I thought, yeah, somehow I don't make these anymore. And I felt this inner sadness. See, I just want to leave it like this, but I want to check. It does nothing. Whoa. Okay. Nice. See, I just had the feeling something else needs to happen. And it's strange because it takes out... But it leaves... Yeah, we'll see what this will do later. Okay. You know, I'm kind of in the middle of some kind of weird mindset. But that's okay, right? For me it's okay. You possibly already got used to it. So, no, nobody to complain about anything. So you can see this is sexuality. I like this eye. Also reminds me of a vagina. I tell you, I am probably as horny as you can be. And I don't know how often, you see, in this life, I'm a man, right? I don't know in this life how it is to be a woman. I can imagine that it's beautiful. And I also already once imagined myself, I smoked a joint in a completely dark room and suddenly I started to masturbate and I started to massage the pelvic floor muscles, and at the same time, you know, I was using some oil to, you know, stroke my penis. And I was massaging these pelvic floor muscles. And somehow I got into this mindset, I'm a woman. And I really felt like somebody was penetrating me. And I have this side to me as well. But I don't want somebody to penetrate me into the butt. You know, if I would want, you know, I would want to be then a woman. So sometimes I really imagine, well, I want to be a woman, you know, I really want. And that's just my female side. And maybe I'm trying to connect with it. But, you know, what I really want is a woman in my life. So that I can be a man. And sometimes it's hard to be a man when you are just amongst men. Because they constantly try to dominate each other. And that's just frustrating. You know, my dad this morning, I think I heard him say that. You know, he might not have said that. I talked about this before. But what I think I heard him say is, yeah, you have 2 sons and nobody gives a shit, you know, that he has work to do on the facade. And I am lucky that my mother kind of always protects us, because otherwise my dad would probably like try to force me to do things that I don't want to do. This doesn't make any sense. Even at my age now. But he could of course say, because you live here, you don't pay rent, you have to work for me now. But he doesn't say that because, you know, my mom would shield us from this. And now you can say that's maybe mean from my side, but I see it different, because I see that if I keep working for my father, then I use my energy to manifest myself in this environment. Because if I use my energy and put it into this house, that means a part of me is claiming to stay here. So it's important to know what you invest your energy into. And to be conscious about this. I'm right back. So of course, if I would want more people to watch this, I would probably make these videos really different. See, this is not what I wanted. So, yeah, I'm a complete idiot, I know that. Right? Why do I have to drink a second one? Doesn't really matter. No, you are the creator of your own life. Why do I extend these sessions? I don't know. Apparently, you want really long sessions, so I give that to you. How nice of me, is it not? So, first of all, preservation. Somehow I want cloves. So I take 2 or 3, put them into my mouth, and just leave them there. And while I drink the coffee, so at least, you know, I also get some healthy stuff into my system. Because I know, like, I'm not doing a very good job. Anyway. So yes, every day I wake up, I realize I'm in the same spot. Yeah? Every day I wake up in the same spot without the woman that wants to be with me. I think that's a better way to phrase it. Because right now I don't know. I feel shit, right? Every day that I spend here, to me, is kind of a waste of my time. That's a fact. That's the feeling I wake up every day with. Holy shit, I'm still here. And this is why I feel like I'm in prison. Right now, I'm in prison. I'm not allowed to leave until I have, like, passed my sentence. My sentence is, like, do something. You know, you have to work to get out of this fucking hell. And as grateful as I am that I can be here, I just want to leave. And if I don't put in the work, I cannot leave. And that's just the position I'm in. Every day I wake up with this feeling. And while some people may say now, well, poor you, right? I mean, you have everything. And then I say, no, I don't. Maybe I have everything you want. Maybe you don't have a family. And then you think, you know, I'm bickering about stuff and, you know, I'm ungrateful. And then I say, you know, you should help your father more. You don't get it, do you? If I keep helping my father, I don't help myself. Because my father doesn't need my help. What he needs is to do these things on him by himself because he needs to work. And do you know how I know that? If I help him, he just keeps using me for his purposes, but he doesn't need me. He just wants to be old, right? He's kind of tired, like, oh, I want to be old now. You know, he's buying the lie of retirement. Oh, soon I'm going to be old. Like, what the fuck? You know, I'm not going to help you feed into that bullshit of retirement. That's just not what I'm going to do. Because I see through it. So I have to make conscious decisions because my dad's ignorant. He doesn't know anything. He sits there, reads his newspaper and thinks that's the news. Well, I can't help you with that. I mean, that's just your problem. And the best I can do is to not make it my problem. So I have to think very carefully because he's trying to make me work for him. That's basically what he's trying to do. Because he thinks he's paying me, and that's already where I get really angry. Yeah, I get angry because he's not paying me. don't pay your children ever. You have a child and then you support it as best as you can. And some people truly think that their child is supposed to help them all the time. That's just not how it works. You don't have children so that they can help you. You have children to help them create something for themselves instead of forcing them to do the same shit you did. And that's what parents always try to do. They think they have to teach their child to do what they do. No. Parents should help their child figure out what their purpose is in this life. And therefore, of course, you have to pay attention to the child. My dad doesn't pay attention. He doesn't care. You see my mom and my dad sitting in the kitchen, and yesterday I came in and they were talking with each other. My mom tells something, my dad doesn't listen. And then he says something which is completely unrelated to what my mom said. And of course both of them are just complaining about their problems. And then sometimes somebody realizes, oh, maybe you ought to say something to this now. And then he says something to it. But that's the way they communicate. It's just exchanging problems. I mean, to me, that's hell. You live in a world that's completely made up of problems. And to me, seeing that is just torture. Because it's such a waste of potential of, what humans can do. What we can build. It's such a waste of potential. And, I just realized that because I have tapped into it. And how did I do that? Well, somehow I learned about transmutation or transformation of energy. And how did I learn that? Well, by doing it. I learned by doing it. And somehow I just did it. But not just, I also read about it. Like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I don't think you have to read the whole book. I normally don't read the entire book. I just read what I need and then I stop. I just have to get into the mindset. And that says something. Some people, like Bob Proctor, he keeps reading the books since 17 years. What the fuck? I mean, when are you start living what you're talking about? Because you clearly don't get it. You just talk about the book, but you never applied it. I mean, you just tell people what somebody else figured out. And then you cling to it because you got rich with it. But he didn't do that on himself. No. I mean, I can read a book and then I just talk about the book to other people. And then you get rich by it because you tell to people something that somebody else has discovered. That's kind of fishy, isn't it? Because it's not your work. Well, don't be so hard on him. Yeah, well, maybe somebody has to. Because I just think it's weird. I do. Because why? Doesn't somebody tell him? So, transformation or transmutation is I believe about everybody has energy. And you can decide on what you spend that energy. So this here, the coffee, a part of me doesn't even want to drink it because I know it's actually draining my energy. I know it. It's draining my energy. Well, why do I drink it then? Then you can say, because I'm addicted. Well, why don't you stop being addicted then? And then you can say, because it's hard. Well, if you know it's hard, then, why don't you put more of an effort into this? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to feel drained and I'm going to feel shit. And I'm going to hate working. And what else also the coffee does, it pushes me past my limits. And that's not good. So yesterday, for example, I just said, okay, no, I'm just going to sleep. I'm just going to sleep because that's what I need. I need to sleep now. Yeah, I'm really obsessed with breasts. I can't help it. That's a bit too red, isn't it? Yeah, that's better. Maybe still a bit. Yeah. I think that's nipple color. Wow. I mean, come on, you can't tell me that that's not somehow hot. Yeah. Now my dad's walking around on this thing outside. Well, I just have to live with that. So, coffee releases energy and it actually drains you. So, yeah, there's a part of me that just says, just stop drinking it, man. Just stop drinking it. What's this now? So, oh yeah. Look at this. Like, this is where it gets like, whoop, it traces all these lines. Whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. And that's also why coffee sometimes makes you a bit silly. Because it just releases a lot of energy at once. And that's why I actually don't want to drink that one anymore. Somehow, it still kind of helps me anyway. See, this is also going to be like, see, I like black women. I like them. But it's just not what attracts me. What attracts me is like this kind of skin color. I like black women, but I can't imagine one to be my wife. And now you can say I'm a racist or whatever. No, it's just my inner truth. This is what is true to me. And that's what every person, see, I don't know if I get this color right. Yeah, I think so. Has to figure out for him or herself. Like, what's my truth? Right? What feels true to me? And then you're just trying to live according to that truth. However that looks like. And my truth, for example, is then my energy is going into creating something for myself, right? It's like in the movie Inception. Only I'm making that inception by myself. This is the place where you want to be, isn't it? So I have to incept myself by looking at the ideas and beliefs that I have, you know, because maybe I'm just trying to please my father and then I will help him. But then I don't create something for myself. Then I just recreate his life, which is, you know, he was forced to help his father all his life. And when his father died, when my dad was 16, he could then do what he wanted, which is he was kind of free of his father, right? So then he could finally do what he wanted, which was then to work. So he's, you know, he could spend his time working the way he wanted, to earn money, to create something for himself. Before that, he couldn't have done it. Oh, wait. This has to stay like this. So you see, my dad is still alive. And because he worked hard, I could depend on him because I don't fit into this kind of will. If I live disregarding my own truth, then I suffer. I suffer greatly. So if I try to work for other men, that's recreating my father's mistakes. And then I suffer, like really, really suffer. So how do I know that I suffer? Well, I feel bad. I feel terrible, I feel awful, I feel miserable. And so right, sometimes I use the natural succession of colors, which is like, right? And well, what does that mean in general? Suffering, it's something which is highly individual. You know, there are some things that may be absolute suffering for you, and for others it's heaven. For others it's heaven. So nobody can tell you what is right or what is wrong, because it's something that you have to figure out. You have to figure that out. And nobody, and I mean that, can tell you what is right or what is wrong. That's what your feeling is supposed to do. So, of course, you have to work for that. And that means consulting your intuition, consulting your feeling, and then living according to that truth that you found in the best way that you can. And that's hard. It's really hard. Because people are always trying to suck you into their own truth. And they don't care whether you like that or not. They literally don't care. They couldn't care less. So are you willing to sacrifice your happiness in the favor of others? Are you willing to do that? Well, if you are, then keep going. Do everything you did until now. Stop questioning. And maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe it's just what you need to be doing. Maybe it's just what you need to do in this life. But then you have to consult your feeling too. You know, to realize, is that what I actually want to do? Or is it just what other people tell me to do? So that you can make a conscious decision and then say, hey, I actually feel good about deciding this way. And if you don't, well, then you're just doing what other people are telling you. And they are going to tell you. Because you probably have, you know, what a lot of people don't have. Like a lot of hidden potential. And they're going to use it. Like my dad, you know, he wants to be old now. He wants to be lazy. And then he wants to force me to do his job. It's not my job. His job is not my job. Of course, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like hearing that. Because he just sees himself. Like he has that conversation with my mother. Right? All he cares about is that I don't help him. All he cares about are his problems. And he somehow needs to care about my mother's problems. Because, you know, they have this relationship and he wants, you know, to be in her favor. That's just a fact. That's just how it is. And, you know, you don't need to argue about it. So, now we talk about transmutation, right? I'm doing this painting and I'm talking about a lot of stuff because I feel like talking. So that's what I feel like. If I would be helping my dad right now, I wouldn't be talking. Which would mean you know, what I'm talking about is actually what helps me to get out of this place, because I'm putting in work that creates something for myself. And if I'm, you know, hopefully if I'm persistent with it, then something will emerge. Yeah? Something will happen which I probably couldn't have planned. I'm quite certain that I couldn't have planned it. I mean, I can plan it in a way, but not by completely controlling it. The way I plan it is by doing what my feeling tells me. So it's not really me planning it. It's somehow my subconscious or my intuition telling me this is what you need to do. And then you just go about doing it. And that's then all there is to it. So, yeah. It's about investing. Oh, I don't want to rotate that. Oh, do I? So it's about investing the energy that you have in the things that feel good to you. Yeah? So I feel good about doing this. Because it allows me to tackle my frustration. And that helps me to be more happy. I'm not really making a good job to explain sexual transmutation to you, am I? So, you have energy, right? And it comes somehow through your sexual chakra. That's where it accumulates. And it has the potential to create something for yourself, but also has the potential to help others. So you can create life with it by impregnating a woman, having beautiful sex with her, and be in love. You can also use it to wipe the floor, and you can use it, you know, to just drink coffee and overload your system. And of course you can use it to help your dad. So you see there's like various things that you can do with it. Oh. That's interesting. Of course, what you can also always try is to say, try to change things. Like, what happens if I do this? For example. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious what I'm doing here, you know, I'm creating. And I have also already told you beforehand, see, this I kind of like, but not like that. First of all, I also want to check what happens if I take out nothing. What the fuck? See, it doesn't really change that much. It's crazy, isn't it? Like, this changes a lot. I like that one. Right? Kind of nice. Just have to try this again. I'm not, see, it's hard. So now I'm also, you know, it's about focus. And I'm not doing a very good job focusing at the moment. See? I like this. It's about focus. You're focusing your energy on something. I'm really horny. I cannot deny that. I mean, the picture just shows it. And I can feel that I'm really horny, right? Okay, I kind of like this. I kind of like it. Brings out the color in a different way. But this I also already like. Of course, what I could do, first of all, try this. Didn't like that. Put it back. Colors, saturation. Take it out of it. Right, and changes it a bit, doesn't it? See? Look at this one here. Just brings it out a bit different. So you could say I'm trying to find an outlet for my sexuality, yeah? Whoa. What's this doing? And what the fuck? Come on, this is insane. Because if I don't, I just go nuts. And that's a fact. That's a fact. I can't deny that. So it's a fact that if I don't figure out a way to deal with my sexuality, I just go insane. I mean that, like literally. So now it's 100. You can check. Color. I mean, what does that change? That's interesting. I like the blue one though. Okay. See, it brings out different colors. So if I want these breasts to come out a bit better, I think this is the best I can do for. Actually, that's also still cool. One, two, three, four. Let me say preview. Right? A completely different picture. Say okay, and then take it out. Put it over. Take it out. Put it over. Well, at least we're getting somewhere. Whoa! Didn't expect that. And that's the interesting one now. See, I can take it completely out. And the interesting thing is, what remains are these shades. But to me it's also important to kind of keep it natural looking. So of course, you see, I have found an outlet for my sexuality. I just painted, right? This is what I imagined. There are so many nights, evenings, days, where I sit here and suddenly, you know, I'm about to burst out and I just feel my penis sliding into a very soft vagina. And not just of my wife. That always has to be sure. It's not just any woman that I want a specific one. I want a specific one. And that means patience. And that means, going insane about it. And that means proving to yourself that you can do it. And you will go insane over it. Trust me. If you want one specific woman, if you're at that point, holy shit. Good luck. Because this woman also has needs, right? Suddenly it's not just about you anymore, it's also about figuring out how to do this together. And how to grow as a couple. I like it like this. No, it's just called like that. I had a dream. So, yeah, deleting these images, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore, right? It's just hard, right? You don't know. Sometimes you don't know what you may use them for. So, it's about the focus. So, you draw a picture, you feel incredibly horny. Now, you have the option to watch porn, of course, or you just sit down in front of a blank sheet. You feel incredibly horny. You focus on that feeling inside of you, that desire to have sex. And you put down the pen. And all these horniness, you just put it onto paper. And that can be your outlet. And that, to me, this picture is the same as having sex in a way, but by myself. Because it's creative, right? I'm giving birth to something. And I tell you that, I could masturbate on this. Because it makes me incredibly horny. But then my next picture would be less like that. So it's just a way of learning to find a different outlet for your sexual desire. And to me, it's also just these shapes, you see? It's all this round, so luscious, like, wow. And then holes, of course, because that's what I want. I want to penetrate into this hole. I want to go into it. I want to be one with that woman. But to get there, I need to stay focused. And that's why I cannot help my dad, no matter how miserable he feels about it. But that's just his problem. Because he feels left alone by his dad, because his dad died too early and stuff like that. But that's not my problem. It cannot be my problem, because if I make it my problem, then I don't solve my own. And I don't want to live my father's life. I want to live my own life. And that's hard. Because, if somebody gives you the feeling you're not helping him and tries to make you feel bad for that and expects you to feel bad because you don't help him, then it just shows you how selfish he is because of his own traumatic past, because he feels left alone. So he wants everybody to help him, and he only helps people so that they will help him back. And I cannot do that anymore. And that's why I don't. But it's still a difficult decision. Because there's still also the kind of the son in you, but now I'm also a man, right? And I want to have a family. And to stay focused on that family means that other people have to suffer through being alone, just as I have. And I know how much it helped me, because nobody could help me. I asked for help. They couldn't help me. So, if I would have taken their help, I would have gone to a psychotherapist, and I would have never created these images. So my dad thinks I'm not helping him, but I am, by working myself out of here. so he can stop worrying about me. And that just means focus. And that just means no more masturbation. And my entire body is craving for sexual expression of my feelings with that woman. And sometimes I just lay in bed torturing myself, thinking that she had sex with other men. And thinking that she would call me and she would tell me that she did. And why do I do this? I do this because you could say I'm preparing myself, because it's absolutely possible that this will be the case. And now imagine she would come back and she would tell me that she had sex with somebody else. And that would mean, how do I react on that? Because it's a possibility. Maybe it's not true, but in a way I have a feeling that it might be. So instead of just being afraid of it all the time, I just start dealing with it. I talk to other people. I asked my mom the other day, why do you think we have such trouble with if our partners cheat on us? And then I explained the situation, and then she said, yeah, well, if you're not kind of together right now, then at least from her perspective, she would say, why couldn't you come back together? Even if she had sex with somebody else in the meantime. Because to me, it still feels like betrayal. But what would be worse? And then I have to think through. I have to go through the motions. So I'm having the conversation before it comes to me. And if she then says, she didn't, and there's a part of me that doesn't believe that because I know already that she has, and it hurts me incredibly just thinking about it. It's incredible pain. And I go into this bit by bit, and I just start dealing with it. Because in a way, watching porn also has betrayed, I have betrayed her with this. And if she has the courage also to sleep with somebody else and then come back to me, what does that say? That's surely, apparently there was something that she liked about me that others couldn't give her. But it's still, to me, it's incredibly painful. And every time I just think about it, I open the portal of hell. And it causes me great suffering, but I go into this on purpose. I think about it on purpose because I realize it's a problem and I have to deal with it. Because the worst thing that could happen then, if she would come back, and it's her I'm craving for. So if she would come back and she would say that to me, and I want her to be able to be honest if she did, and I would just end up shouting at her, I would just be causing more drama. Because in a way it feels like we're meant for each other. That's how it feels like, right? I cannot validify it. It's just a feeling that I have. And that's why, to me, it's incredibly hard to stay faithful. Because if you think somebody cheated on me, what do you want to do? You want to cheat on them as well. You want to do the same thing to them that they did to you. But of course, until she has said it to me, I don't know if she did that. But it just feels like, I don't know. Like that place, it just feels like, just thinking about it is incredibly painful. And I don't know why. Why is it so painful? Maybe it's because it happened to me once already. I just feel like I don't want to enter into her anymore if I know that another man has been there after me. It's just how it feels like. Then of course you say to love somebody is to love them unconditionally. So if I say now I can only love you if you haven't had sex with another man, then it's not unconditionally. But that's why I still have some learning to do. And in the end, if my feeling tells me if she did that, I can't be with her because I would always feel betrayed, then I have to live according to that truth, because I know if she had sex with another man, in the meantime, I would always feel cheated by her. And I don't think I would be able to let go of that. That's the thing, it's to let go and to continue. So maybe it's not, if I have the feeling she had sex with another man, then for me, I have to just let go of her. Instead of trying to force myself to love her, which is what I'm trying to do right now, because I kind of promised myself. And that's the thing, because I think, I said that, but I'm kind of constantly breaking my own promises by saying I don't drink coffee anymore, and then I drink it anyway. So why in this case am I trying to hold on so badly? Because I've said that more often already, and in the end, I didn't live it. So actually I know it already. Scheiße. And this is the worst thing for me. This is literally torture. This is ignoring my own truth, that a woman who has once been with me, sleeps with another man, is not my wife, because I want it to be her. So I project all this stuff on her. And that's so frustrating, because I'm ignoring the fact that she's not it. And the longer I hold on to that fantasy I created of her, the more suffering I will create for myself, which in a way I don't really need. But that's the fact, that's the thing now. I think I deserve it. I think I deserve to suffer. I believe that I deserve to suffer because I did all these terrible things, and I forget to realize, right, what she did, like the way she treated me, like a maniac, completely ignoring that I'm a human being with feelings. And I always forget that. So I put myself into the position of being the bad one, while we created these situations together. And some of them were created actually quite because of her suffering and her trauma that she projected onto me, and I was the victim. And I was always the victim in relationships that I had, where women just did with me what they wanted, and I just sucked it up. And every time I meet a woman, I get back into this place and I do the same kind of thing, ignoring my own needs, worrying about them more than about myself. And it kind of works. If you are more worried about your wife than about yourself, but then your wife has to be more worried about you than about herself, right? So that's how it should be, I think. But now everybody's just so worried about themselves, and then I'm more worried about herself, like about her, but she's also more worried about herself, right? I want to fulfill her needs, and she wants to fulfill her needs, and then my needs are ignored. And that's what created this situation. And yesterday I've been listening to one of my own videos, not all of it, and it made me realize once more why I said back then to her, to fuck off out of my life. It was because she was toying with me, like coming back to me to feel good, and then I would build her up. And then once she said, so it's always good to remember what the other person did as well. And then try not to hate them too much. but to still love them, but say, she's not for me. And that's really the painful thing. And that's why casually sleeping with women is the worst thing you can do, because you are getting emotionally really attached. And I think that's the thing. Every time you sleep with somebody, a part of your soul stays with them. And that's how I feel right now. And, over and over again, all she did was just hurt me. She just hurt me over and over again. And in a way, that's what I want, because that's how my relationships have been until now. So in a way, yes, I want to suffer. So in a way, I probably choose women that will hurt me, because I think I deserve it. Because that's how most women have treated me, or a lot of them. They used me for sex, or they used me whatever, and to get rid of their frustration, and they just toyed with me. I've never actually met a woman that just genuinely wanted me for who I am. But I also always allow it to happen. And I think that's just what causes me great discomfort and what brings me great suffering and a great deal of pain. And I think there's just a way of letting go of that and to allowing yourself to have a positive relationship. But it takes a while. After you've had sex with somebody, even as a man, you have to work on it to let go of that person, to let go and move on. But also don't rush it, right? So to let go and to move on. And yeah, that takes a great deal of practice, but also just having that goal. And then maybe in the end it will be her, because maybe what you did was just going through the fear and the pain of past relationships, because that might also be the case. Because my first girlfriend, in the end, she kind of ended the relationship by cheating on me. So in a way, she didn't really cheat, but she broke up with me and then she slept with another man or young boy while I was visiting her. So I couldn't just leave. Then I was also forced to stay there still. So that kind of also traumatized me, right? And I feel like I have to work with this. So maybe I'm just projecting my inner hell onto her, and she doesn't do any of that. Because I once said to her, yeah, you just want to have this kind of freedom and do what you want and have sex with other men. And she said, like, in a really hurt kind of way, I don't want that. So you see, I actually don't know what she's feeling or what she's doing. I'm just projecting all my fears onto her, and then I get angry. And then I hope, that she's not it. But part of me really hopes that she's it. It's crazy, isn't it? It's really crazy. So in any case, I think there's a lot to learn here. The holy hole, Mount Rushmore. Don't rush it. Don't rush to Mount Rushmore. Peace out.